Nike is dropping 2% of its global workforce, which is more than 1,600 jobs. In an email to employees Thursday, Nike CEO John Donahoe said, "We are not currently performing at our best, and I ultimately hold myself and the leadership accountable. This is a really painful reality and not one I take lightly." The sneaker and apparel brand experienced a significant slowdown in sales, leading them to come up with a plan to save $2 billion over the next 3 years. But what does this mean for the Pacific Northwest, with over 15,500 Nike employees in Portland and Southwest Washington?
Because there's 0 degrees of separation between Nike people and Portland. Because not only do you have employees that work at Nike, you have family members, and you have extended family and friends that work at the brand or have an association with the brands.
That's Jana Panafilio. She worked at Nike for over 29 years. After leaving, she created an alumni group for past Nike employees called 6453 Alumni.
We'd like to say that we're here to support as a landing place for those people as they leave the brand to make their transition from Nike to Next.
The first round of layoffs start Friday and go into next week. Jana says 6453 Alumni Group will help those laid off, connecting them with other Nike alumni in various fields.
There's a disproportionate number of former Nike people start their own companies, so they're looking for talent. And they're looking for clients, and so there's, depending on what it is that they're looking to do or want to do or what kind of help that they need, we have the resources to help them.
Now, this isn't the end of Nike's downsizing. At the end of May, they'll have another round of layoffs.
You really can't make this up. I know you have heard the saying, which is becoming a cliche at this point: go woke, go broke. We saw what happened to Bud Light. They brought on Dylan Mulvaney and tried to push all this insanity as it was supposed to be normal. And then their sales tanked. They had to fire everybody. And now they're trying to regroup, and they've made a partnership with UFC, and they're, trying to get back to embracing men who drink beer. They learned their lesson, lost $1 billion or more, because they chased the woke crowd. And it involved the same person who's involved in tonight's story, Dylan Mulvaney. So Nike is having to cut people left and right. They're trying to save money. They're trying to save this company. And now they're realizing, hey, maybe we shouldn't have done this insanity. Maybe we shouldn't have gone along with the cosplay. Maybe we shouldn't have tried to normalize insanity. And so now 1,600 plus people are losing their job at Nike because the sales didn't work. It's insane. These companies locked onto this ideology that they were going to change the world, and you have to deal with it. In fact, Nike even told their customers, you have to deal with it. This is the new way moving forward. Well, it's not. So let me just take you back down memory lane, and we're going to talk about what happened about April of last year. Let's take a look at this. This is from the Daily Mail, and it says Nike tells furious customers, be kind, be inclusive, as a response to backlash over paying trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney, again, to promote sports bras as customers pledge to boycott the brand. Read that again. They paid trans influencer, a guy, Dylan Mulvaney, to promote bras, a product to women. My wife runs, she rides a bike, and she's like, what the hell are these people doing? Why are they using this guy to promote their product? And then telling everybody, get used to it. Be kind, be inclusive, as a response to the backlash over Dylan Mulvaney. Same exact thing that Bud Light went through. So we'll look through this. It says Nike today doubled down on using a transgender influencer to promote its female clothes, telling customers calling for a boycott to be kind and exclusive. In other words, deal with it. The firm's tone-deaf response came amid women's concerns over Dylan Mulvaney, who identifies as a female but has not had reassignment surgery, i.e. hasn't lopped off the twig and berries. Mulvaney, who uses the pronouns she or they, was seen in paid social media content dancing in Nike sports bras and leggings. And there is Dylan Mulvaney pushing Nike products and telling women, you need to be like me, not like Mike. You don't want to be like Mike anymore. You want to be like me. You want to be like Dylan Mulvaney. That was insulting to women. Women everywhere were like, are you kidding me? What are you thinking, Nike? How can you possibly think this is okay? I don't want my young teenage daughter who's getting into track at school. I don't want my high school daughter getting involved with volleyball or whatever, having to see this and deal with it. We don't want this in our society. I understand there's a segment of society that's open arms and just let's go ahead and have women sports be taken over by men. And now you're saying that you want women's clothing being taken over by men as well. Well, that didn't work out too well. I used well 3 times in that sentence. I am sorry. So what happened? And this is just, when you read this, it's just too much. Talk about tone deaf. It's absolutely tone deaf. So here is on CNBC. Nike to lay off 2% of their employees for now. As you heard in the video, there's going to be more cost cutting more than 1,500 jobs during the broad restructuring. Nike is cutting 2% of its workforce as it looks to reinvest in the growth areas and streamline its business. Why? Why did you have to do that? Why did you have to streamline your business? Well, we all know you just completely went woke. And when you go woke, you go broke. The sneaker giant is contending with a slowdown in consumer spending and looking to save $2 billion over the next 3 years as part of a restructuring plan. This is from the CEO, John Donahoe. This is how we will reignite our growth. No, it's not how you're going to reignite your growth. You know how you're going to reignite your growth? Go back to having women promote women's product and have men promote men's products. That's what you have to do. Let's continue here. Nike's cutting 2% of its current workforce, or more than 1,500 jobs. The Beaverton, Oregon-based sneaker giant said it wants to better use its capital to invest in its growth areas, such as running, women's, and the Jordan brand. Women's. If women's apparel is going to be a focus, then you need to have women actually promoting the brand. There's your restructuring. Hey, we need to get this Dylan Mulvaney guy and put him in a box, stick him in a corner, and never speak the name Dylan Mulvaney ever again. That's how you restructure your brand. And I love this thing. This is a painful reality and not one that I take lightly. Well, if it was your decision to bring in Dylan Mulvaney, it should be painful. It should hurt like hell. You cost your company, you cost your stock, you cost your employees their jobs because of a stupid mistake. We are not currently performing at our best, and I ultimately hold myself and my leadership team accountable, but you still have your job. Nike said the layoffs will take place in 2 phases. The company will start the first round of layoffs this week and finish the second by the end of its fiscal fourth quarter, not the fourth quarter of the year, which typically concludes at the end of May. Cuts in Nike's EMEA region will be on a different timeline based upon local labor laws. It's not clear which departments will experience layoffs, but they will not affect retail employees at Nike stores or warehouse workers. The cuts come as consumers become more cautious in their spending and the retail industry braces for a demand slowdown for discretionary items such as clothes, shoes, which is Nike's bread and butter. You mean Bidenomics isn't working? I mean, you said a lot there. It was lots of word salad, but you're saying Bidenomics isn't working. You're saying getting with Dylan Mulvaney didn't work. Means you completely, as a CEO, completely failed your company. You completely failed your employees because you bought into an ideology that doesn't make sense, that the marketplace doesn't want, and you tried to force people shamed them. Hey, you gotta be more inclusive. You gotta understand where we're going here. This is the wave of the future. You have to understand Dylan Mulvaney is the sports model that we're gonna use to push to women. You missed it. And now you're firing people. You're laying off thousands of people in 2 different waves. You still have your job. It makes no sense to me, except for the one thing: go woke, go broke. Let me know what you think about Nike laying off 1,600 employees in this round of layoffs. Talk to you soon.